Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this video I'm playing a couple of quick match games and my first match is on the map Arena Valley Extreme. I'm playing in the top left position as the Allies and my opponent is Bullseye. Right, okay, so this map is the biggest quick match map, I think it is, and first thing of all, I'm just going to get my infantry, get them to the correct positions, and with this matchup, you have there's a few choices you can go for. You can go for multi-MCV, but that's going to be very, very hard if you get attacked early on. You can sort of go for a rush. You can so sometimes players can decide either going to build one or two ore trucks from the first war factory. If you build two ore trucks, you can go for what's called a 3 war factory start. If you build one ore truck, you can just go for 2 war factories, build another ore refinery, then go for your 3rd war factory. I think that works okay. So it depends on how quickly you want that first attack to happen. In this game, I'm going to go for 2 ore trucks and go for the 3 war factory start, which means I'll be very, very strong in the mid-game. What you do need to be careful of on this map though, is if you're not going for multi-MCV, you do need to make sure that you do attack relatively early on, because if your opponent goes for multi-MCV, it won't take long for them to be outproducing you if you leave it a little bit of time. So you do have to be very careful of that on this map. And you can see there Bullseye with his infantry. He was trying to get through that point and you could see him just taking that infantry back. So I think he's going to go try and get through another route with that infantry. Of course, I want to block his scouts as much as possible because I don't want him to know what I'm doing. And in that case, he won't know, am I going for multi-MCV, am I going for 3 war factories? He won't know any of that as long as I can prevent his infantry from getting into my base. And one really important thing is if you do go for these 3 war factories, 3 ore trucks at the start, you do need to make sure that you're sort of micromanaging your ore trucks to make sure they collect as many gems as possible. And you can see me getting light tanks out first. I'm going to start by producing lights and then I'm going to move on to mediums. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these first lot of ore trucks and I'm going to start taking them to the other side of the map for an early attack. And you can see now I've got my 3 war factories. I'm going to be building my next ore refinery and that's going to be on the ore patch to the right of my base. So I'm spreading out my ore trucks so I'll be able to sort of use that ore for longer basically. I won't run out of ore on one ore patch as if I was going to use all my ore trucks on the same patch. And you can see the way I've got it set up is I built 13 light tanks and then I've got 2 ore trucks coming out just to make sure I can use those 3 war factories to their full capacity. And now you can see I'm going with my 5 tanks going to the back of Bullseye's base, and we have to see, he probably will notice me because he is a good player, but we've got attack on his construction yard and it doesn't seem like he's got any tanks out at the moment, and it looks like that construction yard is going to go down. And now I'm going to go for the power plants. We're going for 1 small power plant and this is a 2nd small power plant, and you can see now he's realised he's in a little bit of trouble and we've been able to take out 2 of those power plants. And we're just having a look across his base and we can see there he hasn't got too much, so you can see me bringing my tanks forward. But you can see he's got some tanks coming from my base there, so I'm going to try and defend here. And also build some light tanks because he will have a slow building speed because he will be low on power since he did lose those 2 ore trucks. And you can see now he's got the light tanks on attack and he's going for the ore refinery. But he's getting some massive hits on my base and that's 1 ore refinery down, and I think he'll be going for the 2nd ore refinery. I'm trying to build another ore refinery, but I haven't got that much ore left. And this isn't looking good at all. So he takes that ore refinery down and now he's going for the construction yard, because without the construction yard I can't build another ore refinery. And now what he'll do is he'll pull back to his base and try and defend. So I'm sending all my tanks down. Unfortunately, it does look like he does have a lot of tanks back in his base. And the problem is now I'm sort of trickling my tanks in, and I'm trying to go for his ore refinery, but he's just got too much there. And really it's sort of like over because I can't build any more tanks, and as he's producing more tanks, there's just no way. He's got too much left, and you can see a lot of my tanks are damaged, so there's no way I was going to win this. So initially I did get a good start. I did destroy his power plant, and what I should have done though is I should have taken more tanks down to attack his base. Because I pulled back and just focused more on defence, that's what sort of like didn't work too well for me. And also it was also in his base he did actually have another power plant that I didn't see because he'd actually built it a bit further down, so there was also that as well. So I really should have taken just more tanks down to attack. I never taken more tanks down to attack and focused less on defence. It might have made the game a little bit different because I really needed to get rid of those. You can see now that because I haven't gone and attacked, he sort of like brought his tanks, all his tanks up, and that was a game over for me. Right, so this second match is against Mega Party, and it's on the map Bullseye. And first of all, what I'm doing is I'm just building down to the ore patch, and I'm going to start building 15 infantry, just some for scouting. What's really important though is you scout the middle part of the map. Not often, but sometimes what you get is you get people who move their MCV to the middle, and you need to know if that's going to happen, because if it does, then you have to put pressure on the middle gem patch. I would say though it's not the most efficient way to play, so I'd never like go to the middle, but some players you sometimes will get that happening. And you can see I've built down, I'm on that ore patch, and because it's an ore only map, I am going to go ore refinery, war factory, ore refinery, and then build my second war factory after I build my second ore refinery. And you can just see what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just getting that middle patch uncovered. And that's really, really important, because what will happen sometimes is players will try an infantry attack, and you need to be able to see that middle patch just to know if if they're doing that or not. And then I try and sometimes, after I've built about 5 tanks, I do try and build another ore truck just to keep the ore coming in, so I can have constant production from all my buildings. And I'm just getting those infantry to the back of my base, because sometimes the enemy will try and scout that back bit. And now I've got this second ore refinery coming out, and you can just see me sort of clearing that patch just so I can get my second ore refinery a bit lower on the ore, so it's a bit closer and my ore trucks don't have to travel as far. And now I've got another power plant, and I'm going to build my second war factory. And what I'm doing is I'm building towards the ore on the other side of my base, so I can start using both sides in order to mine and collect ore for my tanks. And what I like to do on this map is, now the top right does have a slight advantage in terms of the way your ore trucks are orientated, although what I did here is I messed up a little bit, because what you'll notice is when I go back, those ore trucks are sort of jammed. So I did have a little bit of time there where my ore trucks weren't collecting, and that'll put me on a little bit of the back foot, because obviously you want your ore trucks to be collecting like as much as possible. And now you can see me taking these tanks, and I'm just going to get some visibility on his base. And you can see that Mega Party is doing a sort of like similar build to me. He's building tanks at he's building his war factory to the other side of his base, so you can use the gems at the back of the ore at the back of his base. And you can see him with some infantry here, so I'm just going to squash them. And I am on my second ore refinery. And you can see Mega Party is also bringing his ore truck into the middle of the map. And we can see he's got some light tanks there. So I'm going to need to put some pressure on him. Now, I am struggling for ore at the moment, and part of the reason for that is because I didn't have those ore trucks collecting. Otherwise, I should have been producing that third ore refinery, no problem. But I'm just trying to put as much pressure on Mega Party and try and stop him from going to my base. And you can see he's got that third ore refinery out in his base before I do. But now I've got my third ore refinery, it should be a little bit better now. You can see he's got that ore truck going to the middle. It doesn't make like a massive difference because the gems he collects more, but he's having to do a longer distance. But I will try and destroy that ore truck if I do get the chance. And you can see him with his light tanks going to the middle. So now it looks like it's going to be a battle in the middle of the map. He does have a lot of light tanks there though, and he does seem to have the better numbers than I do right at this minute. I am building medium tanks though, and medium tanks have more hit points than light tanks, but the damage isn't that much different. And there's his ore truck going back to the middle of the map, and if we do get a chance, we will try and take that out. Right at this moment though, it looks like the battle is about even, and it's all about micro. We're using Q move, we're moving our tanks around as much as possible, and we're filtering in tanks as quickly as possible. And what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be going for my third war factory, and that's something you should always aim for if you go long enough in this matchup. Now we're in the middle of the map, and the thing about fighting here is we're going to be getting rid of some of those gems. You can see how fast those gems are going down, so if he does bring his ore truck back, there's going to be less gems for him to collect, and we're going to try and hold the fight here. And now it looks like I have the better tank numbers, so we're going to start pushing in, and those medium tanks paying off. And you can see I've got that ore truck there, and it's been going to the wrong ore refinery. That's because I was delayed on building my my third ore refinery on the ore patch. But now my ore collection should be a lot better, and you can see how my ore is stacking up. I also got another ore truck out there, just to try and make sure I do have enough ore coming in to help support those three war factories. But the battle here is light tanks versus medium tanks, and right at the moment we've got about even numbers, but those light tanks are getting taken out, and now it looks like I have the better numbers, and Mega Party is in trouble. And you can see how easily those light tanks are being taken out, and he's not able to replenish them quickly enough. So we'll have to see what is Mega Party going to try and do here. And yeah, you can just see the problem is now, because I've got the better tank numbers, any battle we proceed in, I'm just going to be able to out destroy his tanks. And now you can see he's going for a base, but because I'm closer to his base, I have the advantage. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to try and build some pillboxes just so I can it's going to take longer for him to destroy my base. I am bringing some tanks back, but I'm also going to have some tanks attacking his base at the same time. And let's see if we can take out, you can see he's got some pillboxes of his own, so he's doing that. And now he's going for the base dive. He's going to go for that construction yard. Oh, I thought he was going to go for the construction yard there. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going for these ore refineries, because once I take out the ore refineries, obviously he's not going to be able to collect any more ore. But you can see he's quickly going for the other buildings, and this is looking quite bad for me right at this minute, because he has got quite a lot of my ore refineries, and you can see I've lost another ore refinery there, and now he's going for my final ore refinery. But we'll have to see how he goes. I'm taking out both of his ore refineries, and hopefully I'm going to have the better tank numbers on map. And there's his final ore refinery. I'm just putting my tanks in there to block his ore trucks, so he's not able to sort of drop off any more ore. And you can see Mega Party is really bad on tank numbers, and all I need to be able to do now is destroy those light tanks. And as long as I can destroy those light tanks, he's not going to be able to take out any more buildings in my base. And you can just see my tank numbers right now are much better, I think, than Mega Party's. You can see he's selling up some buildings to try and build more light tanks, and we'll have to see if he's able to do anything, but I think I've got this and I'm going to be fine. And you can see those light tanks going down. He's also got some infantry there, and what I've done is I've also left some light tanks at my base just for some defense if he for any tanks he does have left on the map. But now you can see us going towards his base, and he's tapped out, so that's good game. We had similar strategies in that game. It's just I got a bit of a better tank battle in the middle of the map. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.